Right now, there is something you are trying to hold on to in your mind, but it just won't stay. A name, an idea, perhaps a detail from a moment that made you truly happy, yet you can no longer remember exactly when it was. They will tell you this is the inevitable price of growing older. But today I am going to tell you something different. In ancient Egypt, priests described a clouding of the mind as the soul looking through smoky eyes. Ancient Chinese medicine cultivated specific plants for this very reason, offering emperors elixirs prepared solely from these botanicals. And modern neuroscience is now confirming these answers, one by one. Today, I am going to walk you through 10 plants that restore memory, and let me also say this, you will not need to look for any of these plants at a pharmacy. The plant in 5th place was used by medieval monks as the weapon of the mind, and today we understand exactly why, down to the genetic level. The one in 3rd place contains one of the very few botanical molecules shown to directly dissolve Alzheimer-related plaques inside brain cells, and the plant in 1st place, in a randomized controlled clinical trial conducted in 2009, it restored memory in a statistically significant way, not with a drug, with a mushroom. Are you ready? Most effective thing you can do to help this video reach more people. Now let's continue, because our first plant is doing exactly what you need right now. Let's begin. 10. Peppermint, Mentha piperita. The ancient battle herb of Roman generals. In ancient Rome, generals gave their soldiers peppermint tea before battle. At the time, no one knew why it worked. Dr. Brian Lovell and his team at Northumbria University set out to find the answer. In their study, participants were given peppermint tea and then tested on memory and attention tasks, with results compared against a control group. The outcome was clear. Those who drank peppermint tea showed significantly better cognitive performance. At the same time, oxygenated hemoglobin levels in the prefrontal cortex increased, meaning the brain was genuinely receiving more blood and oxygen. So what is the real secret behind fresh peppermint? The active compound menthol activates receptors known as TRPM8, which stimulate the nervous system and increase the speed of neural transmission. It also partially inhibits acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme responsible for breaking down acetylcholine, the brain's primary memory chemical. The practical solution is remarkably simple. Take fresh peppermint leaves, either from your local market or grown in your own garden. Steep them in hot water for 5 minutes and drink it alongside or instead of your morning coffee. The cost is almost nothing. And the best part, you can grow peppermint in a small pot on your balcony all year round. 9. In Lemon Balm, Melissa officinalis, the chemical antidote to panic. In the Middle Ages, lemon balm was known as the scholar's herb. Monks would turn to this plant whenever they felt their mental sharpness fading. Nearly 1,000 years have passed since then, yet we only came to understand why it works within the last 2 decades. The rosmarinic acid, found in lemon balm, inhibits an enzyme called GABA transaminase. Under normal conditions, this enzyme breaks down GABA, the brain's most fundamental calming neurotransmitter. By blocking this destroyer, lemon balm strengthens the brain's own natural relaxation system. Benzodiazepines, the prescription sedatives available at pharmacies, work through this very same pathway. The difference is that lemon balm does it without causing dependency and with a far gentler effect. The clinical evidence supports this. In an open-label study using a standardized lemon balm extract called Syracuse, participants showed a significant 18% reduction in anxiety symptoms after just 15 days of use. Improvements in sleep quality and agitation scores were also observed. From a brain health perspective, chronic anxiety effectively paralyzes the prefrontal cortex. Clear thinking, decision-making, memory, all of it deteriorates. Lemon balm works precisely at this point, strengthening the brain's weakest link. This remarkably powerful plant can be grown easily in your garden or in a pot and dried for long-term storage. To use it, steep a few fresh lemon balm leaves in hot water for 5 minutes and drink it as your evening tea. 8. Sage Salvia officinalis, the memory proverb of the Middle Ages. Where sage grows in the garden, illness cannot enter the house. This is a Latin proverb from the Middle Ages. A study published by Newcastle University in 2003 demonstrated that sage inhibits an enzyme in the brain called acetylcholinesterase. This is the very same mechanism used by certain synthetic Alzheimer medications. In other words, behind this medieval proverb lies a genuine neurobiochemical reality. The area where sage proves particularly powerful is short-term working memory. This is the capacity to hold information on your mental screen, whether it is keeping a phone number or a social security number in mind for a brief moment, or managing multiple tasks at the same time. The practical application is straightforward. Add a few fresh sage leaves to your meals. With its sharp, slightly bitter, woody, and aromatic flavour, sage adds remarkable depth to any dish. Alternatively, steep a few leaves in a cup of hot water for a short time and drink it as a tea. You can grow sage in your garden and dry the branches by spreading them out to preserve them for long-term use. 7. Green tea Camellia sinensis. The concentration formula of Buddhist monks. Buddhist monks would drink green tea before meditation sessions that lasted for hours. They did this to achieve both mental sharpness and a state of deep calm at the same time. This may sound like a paradox, yet neuroscience explains exactly why it is possible. The amino acid L-theanine found in green tea increases alpha brainwaves. Alpha waves represent the mental state that occurs when you are both awake and relaxed at the same time, a state of focused yet tension-free awareness. L-theanine also works synergistically with caffeine. While caffeine increases focus and energy, L-theanine softens the anxiety and jitteriness that caffeine can cause. In neuroscience, this is referred to as calm alertness. This state places the brain in its most efficient position for learning and memory consolidation. Multiple studies have shown that this synergy leads to significantly superior cognitive performance compared to taking caffeine alone. 2 to 3 cups of quality green tea per day. It is that simple. 6. Rosemary, Rosmarinus officinalis, 1,8 cineol, and real science. For over 2,000 years, there has been a plant associated with memory. Ancient Greek students would pin sprigs of this plant in their hair before exams. Shakespeare included it in Hamlet as a symbol of remembrance. Medieval physicians prescribed this plant for mental clarity. That plant is rosemary. For centuries, this was accepted as folk belief. Then science stepped in. In 2012, Dr. Mark Moss and his team at Northumbria University conducted a study that changed researchers' views on aromatic plants and the brain. Participants were placed in a room where rosemary essential oil was diffused. Blood samples were then taken. The results were clear. Exposure to rosemary aroma significantly increased blood levels of a compound called 1,8-cineol, and participants with higher levels of this compound performed measurably better on cognitive tests. This isn't a placebo. This is pharmacology. Here's what happens at the cellular level. 1,8-cineol is a volatile organic compound that rapidly crosses the blood-brain barrier when inhaled. Once inside, it inhibits the acetylcholinesterase enzyme, the same pathway targeted by cholinergic medications. By blocking this enzyme, acetylcholine levels in the brain are preserved, and acetylcholine is the chemical your brain needs for memory formation, attention, and learning. How to use it. Place a fresh sprig on your desk while you work. Add a few drops of rosemary essential oil to a diffuser. You can grow rosemary on a sunny balcony year-round. 5. Rhodiola Rosea golden root, Siberia's weapon for the mind. In the harshest mountains of Siberia, there is a plant that survives in temperatures as low as -40 degrees. Its name is Rhodiola Rosea. It is commonly known as the golden root. Russian military researchers have been studying this plant since the 1940s. The reason was simple. They wanted to enhance the mental resilience of pilots, astronauts, and special forces soldiers working under extreme conditions. So what does science say? The compounds salidroside and rosavin found in rhodiola affect the brain through 2 distinct pathways. First, it balances cortisol secretion via the HPA axis, thereby reducing the destructive effects of chronic stress on the brain. Second, it directly boosts mental energy and focus by inhibiting dopamine and serotonin transporter enzymes. These 2 effects rarely occur together. It calms and sharpens the mind at the same time. Let's look at the clinical data. In a randomized, double-blind study conducted on 56 young physicians, the group using rhodiola during night shifts achieved significantly better results than the placebo group in comprehensive mental performance tests covering short-term memory, calculation ability, attention capacity, and visual auditory perception speed. And this was achieved under the most demanding conditions possible, immediately after a night shift. Furthermore, the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, has officially approved the statement that rhodiola contributes to optimal mental and cognitive activity. This represents an extremely high standard for herbal supplements. How do you use it? You can find it in capsule or powder form at herbal stores. The recommended dose is 200 to 400 milligrams of standardized extract on an empty stomach in the morning. Do not take it in the afternoon, as its mild stimulant effect may delay sleep. Pregnant or breastfeeding individuals and those with autoimmune diseases should consult a doctor before use. 4. Turmeric. Turmeric, which has been used in the Ayurvedic tradition of India for 5,000 years, has become one of the plants attracting the most serious attention from modern science. And this attention is not without reason. A double-blind, placebo-controlled study led by Dr. Gary Small of the UCLA Longevity Center in 2018 ran for 18 months with 40 older participants. Participants were given a highly bioavailable form of turmeric called theracurmin. The result, the group taking turmeric showed a 28% improvement in memory tests after 18 months. The control group showed no significant change. Furthermore, PET scans revealed a marked reduction in Alzheimer-related beta amyloid and tau accumulation in the brains of those taking turmeric. Here is how the mechanism works at the cellular level. Curcumin is an agent that directly breaks down beta amyloid plaques. It also increases the gene expression of BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF can be described as a chemical fertilizer that enables the formation of new neural connections in the brain. An important note, the form used in the study was a special high-absorption turmeric preparation called theracurmin. Regular turmeric powder does not offer the same bioavailability. However, the piperine compound found in black pepper significantly increases the bioavailability of turmeric. So if you are using regular turmeric, always consume it together with black pepper. How do you use it? Cook half a teaspoon of turmeric together with a pinch of black pepper and olive oil, or coconut oil, or add it to your drink. This ancient golden formula has been validated by modern biochemistry. 3. Saffron. Crocus sativus, the brain secret of the world's most expensive spice. The world's most expensive spice. Red threads hand-harvested from 150,000 flowers to produce a single kilogram. It appeared in Cleopatra's bathing rituals in ancient Egypt, in offerings to the gods in ancient Greece, and in the prescriptions of physicians across Iran for over 1,000 years. But saffron's real secret has nothing to do with its colour. The crocin and saffronal compounds found in saffron act on the brain through 3 distinct pathways. First, they inhibit the acetylcholinesterase enzyme, preserving acetylcholine, the brain's primary memory chemical. Second, they inhibit the accumulation of beta amyloid plaques. Third, through powerful antioxidant activity, they reduce oxidative damage to neurons. Let's look at the clinical evidence. A systematic review of 5 randomized controlled trials, enrolling 325 individuals, found that saffron produced significant improvements in cognitive function compared to placebo and demonstrated comparable effectiveness to common symptomatic medications used in Alzheimer's disease and mild cognitive impairment, with no difference in the incidence of side effects. In other words, a spice performed on par with approved Alzheimer's medications. How do you use it? You can find saffron threads easily at herbal stores. The standard dose used in research is 30 milligrams per day. In practice, place a few saffron threads in warm water or warm milk, wait 10 minutes, and drink. You can also add it to your meals. 2. Ginkgo biloba, the 250-million-year-old brain tree. Ginkgo biloba has an evolutionary history spanning 250 million years. Traditional Chinese medicine has been using it as a memory enhancer for 2,700 years. Scientific literature has built perhaps the most comprehensive botanical research library around ginkgo. Mechanically, ginkgo contains flavonoid glycosides and terpenoids that cause vasodilation in the brain's microvessels. The result is increased blood flow to brain tissue. It also inhibits platelet activating factor, protecting neurons against oxidative damage. An important note, ginkgo's most consistent effects are observed particularly in the early stages of cognitive decline and in older individuals. For young and healthy individuals, the effects are more limited. Additionally, due to its blood-thinning properties, those taking blood-thinning medications must consult their doctor before use. How do you use it? Standardized ginkgo extract is available at herbal stores. Making tea from fresh leaves is not sufficiently effective due to low bioavailability. For this plant, the standardized extract form should always be preferred. 1. Lion's mane mushroom, the monk's secret, clinically proven. This one will truly surprise you. Known in Japan as Yamabushitake, this mushroom has been used by Buddhist monks for centuries to enhance meditation concentration. Today we know exactly why it is so powerful, and this knowledge is one of the most fascinating findings in neuroscience. Lion's mane mushroom contains 2 critical classes of molecules, hericenones and erinacines. These molecules directly activate the genes responsible for synthesizing nerve growth factor, NGF, and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. NGF is a protein that regulates the survival and growth of neurons. The adult brain still requires these factors, but their production declines with age. This mushroom reactivates that production. In a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study published in Phytotherapy Research in 2009, 30 Japanese participants aged between 50 and 80 with mild cognitive impairment took 3 grams of lion's mane mushroom daily for 16 weeks. The result: statistically significant improvement on a standard cognitive function scale compared to the placebo group. The follow-up period after treatment was also noteworthy. Once use was discontinued, the gains diminished. This means the effect depends on consistent, ongoing use. This was a small study that was not compared against existing medications. The results are promising, but large-scale trials have not yet been completed. Science approaches this subject with realistic optimism. How do you use it? Fresh lion's mane can be found at some specialty stores and online platforms. In dried form, it is available at herbal stores. Home-growing kits are also sold, meaning you can cultivate this mushroom right in your own room. The taste is mild and pleasant. It can be used in your cooking. Yummy. Today I shared 10 plants with you, but what I really did was remind you of something. Health does not have to be expensive. The majority of these plants can grow in your garden, in a pot on your balcony, or in a glass of water on your kitchen counter. Peppermint, lemon balm, sage, rosemary. And here is what science tells us. These plants will not turn you into a superhuman. But with consistent, patient, and informed use, they can help your brain operate closer to its full capacity. This is the shared conclusion of both ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience. All you need to get started is a single plant. Today, plant a peppermint or lemon balm seedling in a pot. That is all it takes. Write in the comments which plant you are starting with. If you found this valuable and want this knowledge to reach more people, do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button, because this knowledge belongs to all of humanity.